The holiday season is quickly approaching, and there's no question the hustle and bustle can pose health risk, especially as we continue to navigate the ever evolving COVID-19 landscape. Now, joining us today with some timely tips for staying COVID conscious is Dr. Syeda Amna Husain, a pediatrician and a mom. Now, Dr. Husain has teamed up with Abbott to tell us about their BinaxNOW Self Test, a COVID-19 test that can be done at home as families look to keep themselves and their children healthy over the next few months. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, we're all looking forward to bringing back our holiday traditions, which can make it easy to forget the potential health risk. Now, what are those risks we should be aware of when gathering at the holidays?
So when you think about the holidays, first of all, I'm really happy that this year we are starting to resemble more of sort of that normalcy that we had in the past. And obviously vaccines have been a great part of that strategy, trying to make sure everybody is safe. But when we're gathering for the holidays, we have to remember that in the winter, these viruses become hardier, they become more resistant, they thrive more, not to mention we're all coming indoors. I live in the Northeast, so it's very cold right now. We're all moving indoors. We're all perhaps sharing food, sharing utensils. So to prevent really the risk of the spread of the virus and mitigate really any sort of potential infectious exposure, we have to consider these self-tests. Abbott's BinaxNOW Self Test can really provide a lot of great data and that peace of mind when gathering for the holidays.
Now, how will this test help families to remain COVID conscious this holiday season?
So just like I mentioned, of course, part of the strategy are these self-tests and definitely vaccines. But we have to remember a good portion of the population is still not vaccinated or not even eligible for the vaccines, especially those under 5 years of age. It still comes into play all those safeguards that we've been recommending. Hand hygiene, frequent hand washing is so important. Masking when appropriate, especially if you're around those that you don't know there are varying levels of precaution out there. And of course, distancing when appropriate.
Wow. Now, what should you do if you develop symptoms after attending a holiday event and need to quickly determine if it might be COVID-19 or another respiratory ailment?
That's a really good question and something I often discuss as a pediatrician. So COVID-19 symptoms, the virus that causes it, SARS-CoV-2, has very many similar symptoms that you would see with even the common cold or the flu. So it's really hard to determine just by seeing the symptoms or the signs what it could be. That's where testing can really provide that data and that peace of mind. So if you are experiencing symptoms like fevers, chills, body aches, muscle aches, cough, runny nose, congestion, I definitely recommend contacting your doctor. Your doctor can then further guide you on whether a self-test is the right option for you. Luckily, the BinaxNOW self-test is actually widely available and very affordable at stores like CVS, Walgreens, Walmart. For the price of $23.99, you can get a 2-pack test that you can actually take within 3 days. And again, frequent testing gives us that data.
Now, doctor, how worried should we be with the rise in cases and hospitalizations, especially in certain states? And we're experiencing that right here in Missouri.
I'm sorry, with the rising cases in Missouri, I didn't hear the question.
The question is, how worried should we be or concerned should we be with the rising cases of people being tested positive and hospitalizations, and especially here in Missouri?
I think that's a great question. So when you're looking at cases and hospitalizations, we've talked about this a lot, but as we are varying in terms of the number of vaccinated individuals in the population, how helpful is that data in that specific point in time? We have to look at this in a long-term game. I think this virus isn't going anywhere, so how are we going to start to live around it in a safe way and protect not only ourselves, but others? That's why testing and vaccines are part of the long-term strategy. And I think that's really important to focus in on.
Yeah, Dr. Hussain, I think you're right. It's going to be with us for a while, and hopefully we can be smart and tackle this problem like we tackled other problems. Thank you again so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you.